Hmm. Hello, guys. So to begin with, this curriculum is specifically uh, built for beginners, and which means that students who have no idea what chess is, and if we have some students who know the basic rules of chess, then you can use this class period to review the rules of chess. So chess is one of the most popular board game in the world, and chess is a game that involves a massive usage of strategies.
我帮他看 chess 了。
Okay, so chess is also highly related to Chinese 象棋. For me, I learned to play chess when I was young, but I stopped playing for many years until I went to high school. A good friend of mine loves to play chess, and he defeated me over and over again. And so I practiced playing chess during the COVID pandemic period. And one reason is I don't know what else to do, and I was so bored. Another reason is that I wanted to defeat my friend. And for the bonus reason, I watched this TV show called The Queen's Gambit. It is a great show, and it got me really interested in chess. So after months of practice and learning from my mistakes when I was playing chess, I reached my current rating, chess current rating of 1300. This rating isn't so high, but it's certainly high enough to be my friend. So I only used 1 year of effort. Not only I have defeated my friend, but I also became the best chess player in my whole school. So anyway, I hope you guys will enjoy this curriculum, and may this curriculum be the very foundation of your knowledge of chess. So, firstly, if we want to study chess, we ought to understand like all the pieces, all the chess pieces, and to be able to learn all the pieces fast and easily, we need to assign each piece a specific value. And these values will be used in every chess game that we will play in the future. And different pieces have different values. And if a piece has a rather high value, that means this pieces are more important than the pieces that has relatively lower values. Notice that the names of the pieces are different from Chinese 象棋. The names of these pieces are not car, they are not horse, they are not elephant or soldier. All these pieces in chess have their own proper names. And here we can see from left to right, the first piece that we see is called the rook, and it has a value of 5. The second piece is called the knight, and it has a value of 3. And the third piece is called the bishop. It has a value of 3 as well. For this next slide, from left to right, we have the first piece is called the pawn, and it has a value of 1. The second piece is called the queen, and it has a value of 9. And the third piece is called the king. It has an infinite value. Do you guys know why a king has an infinite value? You lose him, you lose. Yeah, basically it's saying that. So basically this means that you will like sacrifice all your pieces to save your king. If you lose your king, if your king is captured or in the face of checkmated, you lose the game. Okay. And so next we have a chessboard, and this is a regular chessboard, and there are in total of 64 squares, and each square is assigned to a letter and a number. For example, we can see that there is a black pawn on b3. Yeah, we have a black pawn on b3, and there's a I'm sorry. Hang on a second. Yeah. And so next, let's talk about chess setup. The pieces that we see on the chessboard are divided into black and white. Notice that the white pieces will always start at line 1 and 2, and the black pieces will always start at line 7 and 8. And the setup is almost symmetrical except for queens and kings. The way I would remember the setup is that the white queen will always start at a white square, and the black queen will always start on a black square. I would highly recommend you guys to memorize this setup because it will be really helpful if we are to learn the openings and some opening tactics. So now let's see some demonstrations in chess.com. Okay. So firstly, we have a pawn. And how does a pawn move in chess? A pawn can only move forward on chessboard, and when the pawn is at its starting position, it can move forward 1 square or 2 square for this step. Notice that the pawn can only move two steps when it's in starting position. If you move the pawn 1 step ahead for your first step, it cannot move two squares again. It can only move 1 square. And so, but you can still move another pawn. If you move this pawn 1 square ahead, you could still move another pawn 2 squares ahead for your next move, as long as the pawn at its starting position. So let's see that a pawn continues forward fearlessly without any resistance, and it reaches the end of the board. What happens then, since it cannot go left or right or back? That's basically useless. But this pawn in chess, we have a rule called promotion, and so this pawn, if he reaches the end of the board, and this also works for blacks as well. If it reaches, if the pawns reach the end of the board, this pawn could be promoted to either four pieces: a bishop, a knight, a queen, or a rook. So that we might have 3 queens in a chess game. So next we have a bishop. A bishop can only move vertically. No, it can only move diagonally, like on the chessboard. And one thing that is worth mentioning is that when we start our chess game, we see the two bishops at our side. Let's see. We see two bishops as a starting position, and one of the bishop is a white bishop, and another is a black bishop. It's not determined by the color, but it's dependent on the board. And this bishop can only move to black squares, and this bishop can only move to white squares. So that if we have a this white bishop, it means that it can never reach a black square, and therefore the player will lose control to all black squares in the chess game if there's only one white bishop remains. So that is really important to have both if a player can use both bishops well at the beginning, the player can gain a great advantage. And next we have a knight. A knight has a rather odd movement, and it moves in an L shape. That is, it moves vertically 2 steps, then horizontally 1 step, left or right. Or it can move horizontally 2 squares and then vertically one square up or down. And so this odd movement gives knight an advantage in chess games, since most of the pieces move like vertically and horizontally. And knight has a rather odd movement, which gives him this advantage to attack other pieces easily. And next we have a rook. I think a rook is the most simplest piece in chess, except for castling, which I'm going to talk about it later. A rook can move horizontally or vertically on the board, and rook has another movement it's called castling. So let's see for our starting position, and if we move all our pieces except for the kings and rooks. So castle is a combination movement that involves both king and rook. Both the king and rook must not have moved from their starting position if a player wants to castle. Make sure that nothing is blocking the way between the king and rook. So all spaces between king and rook must be empty, and the king must not be in check. And for that, let's see. If we have a black rook that is currently checking the king, it cannot castle. And so there are 2 rooks in the corners, which means that the king has 2 choices to castle. So it can either go to left or right. I think I didn't open the O/O. But anyway, any questions? If you have questions, you could just post it into the chat box. And so for our next piece, we have a queen. As mentioned earlier, the queen is the most powerful piece in chess. Remember that a queen has a value of 9, so that means it is really important. The reason for that is it can move horizontally and vertically, and it can move diagonally as well. So that essentially you can reach every square on the chessboard easily. So a king moves like a queen, but it can only move one step ahead each time. It can move like this to the squares that is around him. Except for castling. For castling, a king can move 2 steps. Notice if all squares are being around the kings is being attacked, the king cannot move. For example, if we have a black rook that controls this whole line, this whole D line, the king cannot move left, because if it goes left, it will be attacked by the rook. And if we have a situation like this, let's see that basically all squares around this king is being blocked by black pieces. And now if it is white's turn to move, and we have a draw, because there's nothing really that white can do. No matter how many black pieces has, it's still a draw. So next, let's talk about capture pieces. So when an opponent piece is within range of one of our pieces, then we can choose to take it. And there is an exception, like a pawn can only move one step forward in a chess game, but it cannot take like a piece if the piece is in front of the pawn. So let's see, we have a situation like this. The pawn cannot take this black pawn, since the pawn can only capture pieces like diagonally. If we have a pawn here, then the white can take it. So to like capture a piece, when we see our opponent piece is under attack and it has no protection, basically we can take this piece. Let's see some examples. When we see a situation like this, like is this now white's turn to move? Do we take this black bishop? Anyone?
Could you repeat the question?
Like if we see a situation like this, shall we take this black bishop or no?
Well, I think we should.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that it has no protection, and so this is actually a free. That would be like a free piece. And so let's see if we have a situation like this. Now, do the white take this knight or no?
No.
Yes, and the reason for that is because like if we take this piece, we lose the rook. And this knight has a protection by a black bishop. And so and let's see another example. If we have a situation like this, do the white take black queen?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because the queen is more important than the rook.
Mm-hmm.
So we gain 4 points.
So essentially, like as mentioned earlier, like queen is the most powerful piece, one of the most powerful piece in chess. Like if we do this trade, like if we kill the black queen and we will lose this white rook. But remember that a rook has only got a value of 5, and the queen has a value of 9. So essentially, like we win 4 points by doing this trade. So similar to the situation, when we see a situation like this, we should take the black rook instead of the black bishop, because a rook has more values than a black bishop. So let's see another example. Let's say that we have 2 rooks on the chessboard, and then we see a situation like this. Now, what should we do?
We should take.
And the reason for that is?
Rook is protected.
And also, like, let's add the values together, and we have we're going to lose 1 rook, which we are going to lose a value of 5. And to add up the value together, a black bishop plus a black knight equals 6. And so, like, we gain 6 points of values, and then we lose like 5 points of values, like, for our rook. And so essentially we gain 1 point of advantage. Yeah, so for a similar situation, now what should we do?
We probably shouldn't take.
So, like, essentially, like, we see a black pawn and a black bishop, and the total value is a 4, and a rook's value is a 5. So if we do this trade, we are going to lose 1 point of value. So this is a bad trade, and we shouldn't do it. And this combination of bishop is one of my most favorite tactic. Like, I would call this like an iron bishop, because it is so solid and nothing can really breach this combination, especially for endgames. Like, if a black has a rook, and it can neither attack this pawn nor the bishop, because either way the black will lose their values. And to breach this combination, the black should do like a fair trade. Like, they should trade with a knight or bishop, and if they can trade it like by using a pawn, and that would be really good. So okay, let's see another example. Now, what should the white do right now if we see a situation like this? Anyone?
What's the question again?
I mean, like, if we see a situation like this, what should the white do for the next move?
White should use the bishop to take the black bishop.
I think white should.
Yes.
I don't actually no, but if it takes the rook, then the bishop will eat. And yeah.
Yeah, like we see that the black bishop is attacking this whole line, and we have a important piece, and that is worth 9 points of value here. And like if we lose control to this line, actually we see that this bishop is protecting the queen, and so if we do this as a trade, and the black shouldn't take it, because if the black takes this bishop, it will lose more values. And the white shouldn't take this black rook is because that although it has a higher value than the bishop, the white will risk to like lose an important value piece right here. And let's see another example. Now it is like the white's turn, and what should the white do?
It should eat the horse.
By using firstly it is not called a horse. Like I mentioned earlier, this is called the knight.
The pawn should eat the knight.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And let's see, after black pawn takes white pawn takes black knight, what happens then for black? What should black do?
You should send its bishop to eat the pawn.
I think he should use the rook to eat the pawn.
Well, either way, the rook would get in.
Yeah, I agree. Like this involves with a deeper tactic that we might face in the future. Like if we use a bishop to take this pawn, and what if, let's say that if we have a queen here attacking this rook, and so this rook, it must move or it will lose this important piece. And so after it moves, and so then the bishop has no protection, and the rook can just take the bishop. Or let's say that if the bishop is being attacked by a pawn, and the bishop, like whether it moves or not, like whether it takes the pawn or not, then the white will take this rook, since it has no protection and there's nothing blocking their ways. So I think it's important to use the rook to take this pawn, or simply don't take the pawn at all, just aiming for a better move. And so next, let's talk about checks and checkmate. Like check means that the king is being attacked, and checkmate means that the king is being attacked, and there's nothing to do to alter the situation. During a chess game, one can use checks to achieve certain goals. For example, we can use checks to capture the opponent pieces. Like one can mobilize their valuable pieces and to checkmate the opponent's king. Okay, let's see some examples. Now that if we see a situation like this, and what should the white do?
Rook to h5.
And so after we made this move, we can see that the king is being attacked, and there's nothing like the king can move to the 6 squares to avoid the check. So after we make this move, this rook has no protection, and so white can just take it. This is one of the easiest tactic we might face in the future. And let's see a similar example. And for this one, it has basically the same understanding as the last one. Although the last one was like horizontally, and this one will be diagonally. One important rule is that when there's a situation like this, the king cannot approach to each other. Like the black king cannot approach to the 3 squares, and the black king cannot approach to this 3 squares. There was supposed to be a distance of 1 square between the kings. And so when similar situation like this happens, and white king can offer white queen a protection from the black king, and therefore they can check. They can check this black king, and so it loses position, and white just take it. And this is a situation that happens when there's a piece behind the king, and if there's a piece in front of the king, and the same rule applies. Like we can see that now, the white piece, the white queen is checking the white king, and there's a serious problem with it. And so for the white, the best move would be black rook to c3. It provides a protection to the white king, and it also is attacking the white queen. And there's really nothing like black can do to save the queen. It cannot move back because that will be a check, and it will be a violation of rules. Like a king cannot go into a check. And if the king moves, like to avoid this check, and then the white can just take it. Or if the black queen takes black rook, and so the king takes it back, and we reach into a draw. From a black heavy strong advantage to a draw. And now let's see some examples of a checkmate. So basically, like if we the black rook can just force the black king into this bottom line, and therefore checkmate the king. The checkmate is that the king cannot move to any squares and is being like attacked, and there's nothing really the black can do to alter the situation, and therefore the black loses the game. Let's see if we can force the black king into this corner, and then check. And there's the king cannot go here, and he must go down to the side, then checkmate. It can move. It cannot go back or forward or right, and there's nothing left. Okay.
你知道它什么意思吗？
知道呀。
You guys have any questions? Okay, let's see if the white has a little bit harsh terms and it only has one rook left. The question is, will white win the game or not? Any ideas? Yes.
It can first go to go to G3.
Okay, G3. And
then go to G.
And now it's black turns to move, and it goes here.
Okay, then it goes to G5.
Check. And black goes here.
So it's trying to escape. It won't escape out of my hands. Go to G6. I know what's gonna happen.
And he goes back here again.
Go to F6. He's gonna run away.
Trying to catch the rook, and then
the rook goes to F7.
And then it goes back here. Let's see that this is actually like after this, and let's see how could we use the king to force the black king to go to a superior to go to a.
So like, he has to move first somewhere close to him. That's the only way.
Yeah. And let's see that when the black king was here, we can actually go to a random place, but still controls the line 5, and we can actually force the king to go to these 3 positions. So the king wants to keep his position to the center, and then black goes here, check. And so it approaches. However, the white can just lock the black king in these 2 lines, and it cannot go out. It's like a prison.
Wait, why?
So because it cannot like if it goes to here, it will be checked by the white, and that will be a violation to the rules. And so the white essentially keeps the king into these 2 lines. And so in this case, we can use our king to force the black king to a like coerced situation. and therefore kills the game.
Yeah, but it can only walk
so-
one step. How can we do it if it only walks one step?
Yeah, let's see what happens. And so the king was trying to catch the rook, but the white didn't kill. And so he tried to hold this king, but it still continues and continues. And when he almost grabs the rook, and the rook just goes to c1.
Wow.
And all those steps taken by the black king is effortless. So it goes here.
Yeah, you can rest that. If he goes to the white spot, he's gonna be dead. And victory. So we have to wait a little.
Okay, let's see. The black rook should take a random step at the C line because it didn't want to lose position, and it thinks that. And the thing is that the white king is also at a good spot, and the white king didn't want to lose his position, and so it's now black's turn. So here he confronts the white king, and then black can do this check. Now he cannot escape from this prison because we have a white king confronting the black piece.
Wait a second, why can't it just go on the other 3 lanes?
Yeah, this 3. And then if it goes here, its prison is eliminated into only 1 line here. And so the white still confronts with a black king, and it goes to the corner and tries to escape. And then the white
You're just
pursues
gonna
him.
trap him, right? You're gonna trap him, right? Are you?
Yeah, let's see what happens. And if a white king wants to escape from if the black king wants to escape, he goes here and try to get away from the white king, but there's nothing really the black can do, and the game is dead. The white now can only take a step like a2, and that's the game. White won because it cannot come to a5. It cannot come to a7. It will be checked by the rook, and it cannot go out because there's a white king blocking the 3 squares.
Then you win.
So, yeah, by only using a rook.
A king and another king and a pawn and another pawn and right. Let me guess, white's always
No.
gonna win.
Or maybe we can do to alter the situation if you would like.
Yes, I want to make it more difficult.
Okay.
You can't just make it white always wins.
Yeah, we can make the black win.
Yes, but not right now because you just said that. Of course. One last white wins because earlier you just said that. So when the black wins pop out of your brain, you can do it. But not right now.
White moves forward, trying to to create this promotion, and then the black kills the game.
Wait, what? Why didn't it choose a queen?
Or a queen works as well. Yeah, either a rook or a queen works as well. And this is just a situation that we might see. And also we might see a situation like this, let's see. Well, I haven't prepared for. I remember there's a really interesting situation, but I didn't prepare for it. trying to find something else.
Oh no! White is gonna lose. What should it do? Oh no. What should it do? Uh-oh. It seems like there's no way out in this situation. Wait, maybe there is. The white.
What about
Maybe
GA?
there is. The king just can go up and then kill it.
Sorry.
Of course. Why are you changing it? What? Why are you changing? Oh no. No one can catch the. Now it's gonna turn into the queen, huh? Let me guess. It's gonna turn into the queen.
There you go. I think I did this wrong. Just hang on for a second.
We're just doing the same thing. Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Wait, something's wrong. I think I messed the colors. But yeah, it should work like this.
This is
Sorry guys. Just brave yourselves. And this one is a really interesting situation.
Why? Why is it so interesting?
Now let's see. It is White's turn to move, and if you want to checkmate the king, like the White has a great advantage right now. He has three powerful pieces, and
Yes, but it can't
Black
move
also
up. It can't
has
kill.
only got like a bunch of pawns. So here check.
Oh no!
And can only go down. Then the Rook now goes here and tries to check. You can only move the pawn right now.
Okay, this is not protect. Now the queen is gonna move.
And the king goes here, trying to force the black king. Yeah, there's nothing really to do for the black other than taking this pawn. And so it goes here.
Wait. Can the pawn just kill it already? Alright, it goes down. It can't go up, right?
Yeah, this is one of the situation. Like we see that it took us many steps to do this. Bottom, let's see. If we ought to quit some pieces to win this game easily, we can see that this is M3, means that we can win. The White can win this game by only using 3 steps. Let's count.
What?
Yeah. So for this first step, Black gives up his Rook.
The Rook gives
And
up.
so, yeah, and Black has nothing to do other than taking this Rook. And now,
What? Are you seriously? I would never do that though.
yeah, nobody would, but the computer would. And so I would really find this one as a really interesting situation. because when playing chess, we can see that there's some very famous chess player. They will give up pieces to get a better situation on the board, even though it will cost them like a queen or a rook, but still they will win the game.
You can go bye-bye, pawn.
Yeah, so bye-bye pawn, and the pawn is dead. But and if you see a situation like this, we will think that, oh my gosh, the white is definitely gonna lose because the white just lost a knight by doing this step. If we take the pawn, but see here, it says M1, which means the black can kill 6 game in 1 step, and this step will be check and checkmate.
But it can just.
Let's see why. Why would this happen? Like, can it go here? Can the king go here?
Nope.
Because there's a pawn, right? Because there's a white pawn here, right?
Yeah, well, could it go like?
And can it go back?
No.
Can it go back?
Nope.
Because it's a white bishop is still checking it, right? And can it go here?
Wait, can it just protect? Can something protect it?
No, not really. This pawn is blocked by it, and those 2 pawns are just useless. They're blocking the king's way. You cannot go here because there's a pawn occupying the space. You cannot go here because there's another pawn occupying the space.
If only that black pawn can go 2 steps.
Yeah, I would really consider this as a fascinating situation. Well, I have a question for you guys. I think you guys are familiar with all the rules of chess?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, well, I think we can jump into like the deeper understanding of tactics and openings, right?
Sure.
Because I'm thinking like for next year, January, I will like open up a class for chess advanced. The advanced will be like case studies and more tactics, deeper uses of tactics anyway. So if that's the case, would you guys like willing to learn about some tactics or openings?
Openings.
Oh, okay, openings. Sure. So I shall prepare for openings for next week. Okay. And so this will be the end of our class. And I have a small homework assignment for you guys. If you guys don't have a chess.com account, you should go back and create your own chess.com account and play chess with some strangers or computers, if you will, just to see how good you are. Sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's put I will put it in like the chat box. This website. Go on to this website and then create your own account. You can use your parents' email address or whatever.
It's not a link, it's just a type.
No, yeah, well, you could just search on Google chess.com, and the first thing that comes up should be chess.com. Yeah. And it looks like this. So Anyway, so this will be the end of our class. You could sign out. You could sign out.
Bye.